Let's talk a little NFL football.
We will do that right now with our guy, Dan Orlovsky, ESPN. He joins us each week leading up to the Super Bowl and thereafter, courtesy of MyBookie.ag. Don't forget code next round for that deposit bonus at MyBookie.ag. What is up, Dan? How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Man, we're doing awesome. Thanks a lot. Let's start with Patrick Mahomes. The obvious story was the ankle and the high ankle sprain. He played through it, but 2 weeks now. I'm sure in your playing career, you've suffered an ankle injury. How important is 2 weeks of rest?
I mean, it's important, but the guy threw for 340 and 2 touchdowns with it. So, I think he's, again, another example of what makes him so different. But to have that rest is going to be huge just for him to have that next element of opportunity or next element of talent to be on display. He was a little bit hindered with that. In some moments, you saw him get stuck a little bit with his feet, but it was more because of the injury. So it'll be a really big deal for him. But even more so for me, I'd say it's a bigger deal for a L'Jarius Sneed. It's a bigger deal for a Mecole Hardman. It's a bigger deal for Kadarius Toney because they're candidly going to need those guys to find a way to beat Philadelphia.
Yeah, I mean, and I thought that was one of the bigger storylines was what he was able to do in that second half, limited wide receiver-wise.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the question when we come around drafting quarterbacks and we come around paying quarterbacks. I think there's 2 different moments when you want to evaluate a guy. When we have what we believe is a roster good enough to win with you, do we win? Like, do we consistently win? Are we a legitimate championship caliber team? And then when our roster is lessened, our defensive line is down 2 guys, or our left tackle is out, or our 2 wide receivers are out, or something like that. Are you good enough to still carry us? And I think that's where we get into the tiers of drafting and paying quarterbacks. Patrick checks both of those tiers consistently. That's why he's the best player in the league. The most impressive part of the game for me was with all that happening, they ran the ball for 34 yards. The longest carry in the game for them was 6 yards. He was down his number 1, number 2, and number 3 wide receiver and on a bum ankle. Cincinnati's defensive players did not lay a single finger on the football. Given all that, the ball was never carelessly thrown around or handled. That was the most impressive aspect of the performance.
Maybe the closest to possible interception that would have changed the game was his pass to Marquez Valdez-Scantling, which looked like an amazing throw. Man, you want a game of inches. That looked like it was that close to maybe being intercepted, but it's a touchdown. What did you think of that throw?
Yeah, I mean, it's the fact that Patrick gets that ball off is remarkable. It reminds me, he hit Justin Watson on one against the Chargers. It was either on Sunday night or Monday Night Football to his left on a big post in a very similar moment where, he's moving the pocket. He's got to avoid a rush, and all of a sudden his eyes find something downfield and he throws a perfect throw. And it was just great. Again, levels of quarterback play. I want to get the ball to Travis Kelce. They double team Travis Kelce. I'm then going to get through the other progression of the pass concept, and it's really a 1-2 thing. And I've got to move in the pocket, and the safety does something the safety should not do, react. And that's where a player like Patrick separates himself, is his reaction is so fast when everything else seems so slow to him. That ball shouldn't even get thrown. We should be watching that tape going, man, he missed one. If he had an extra moment here, he had one. Somehow he puts a dart on MVS's chest for a touchdown.
Eagles a 1.5-point favorite right now. MyBookie.ag code next round when you go to MyBookie.ag. Dan Orlovsky with us, courtesy of them, on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Could I make this argument? So if you take in this Super Bowl, you take every unit, linebackers, defensive backs, running backs, wide receivers, could the best overall unit be the Philadelphia offensive line?
Oh, there's no question. That's not an argument. That's a factual statement.
I like that. I made a factual statement right there.
Yeah, first time, right?
Yeah, it's first time today at least.
I mean, they got 2 Hall of Famers on their offensive line. Kelce and Lane are lock Hall of Famers. And I think the most interesting, so any good offensive line, I was in Houston for a couple years when Arian Foster was absolutely rolling the NFL. And the offensive line was great. It was Chris Myers and Eric Winston and I'm going to forget names, but guys that were really good players, right? I think the two things that stood out when it came to just that unit is they were incredibly physical and they were incredibly athletic. If you had to ask me two things that I would use to describe Philadelphia's offensive line, it's that. And the difference between their unit and I would say like the Chiefs of 2 years ago, or maybe last year, maybe even 2019 when they won it, they are an RPO-based offense that is not soft up front. A lot of RPO offenses in the NFL, they get soft because their guys never get to just fire off the football. Philadelphia's fires off the ball. That'll be the big challenge. There's going to be a couple of them. But can you physically match Philadelphia for 4 quarters?
So we had dinner with a couple of guys that were at the NFC Championship game in Philly on Sunday night, and they were talking about how wild it is. And I heard you on Get Up yesterday talking about how you took your son to one of the games. What exactly was the experience with your son when you went to a Philly game?
So we brought our whole family. My wife's from there. My kids are diehard Philly sports fans, mainly because they're not allowed in her eyes to be anything but. Like, I'll make it long. We live like 40 minutes door to door from Citi Field, which is where the Mets play. One of my sons loves baseball and he loves to just rake balls. And Pete Alonso is one of his favorite players. And we've got a great little candid connection with the Mets to give us pretty good seats when we ask for them, all that stuff. And we're very thankful for that. So I'm always like, yo, it's a great ballpark. Let's go down. My wife's, why are you trying to make them Mets fans? I'm like, I am not. He likes the player. It's a great stadium. Let's go down. So we go to the game as a family. We park at the tailgate, P-lot, because that's where her family was.
I think we lost Dan there. We lost his connection.
Man, that'd be a good story.
It was a great story.
I wanted to hear it.
Wi-Fi let us down there with Dan Orlovsky. Brought to you every week by our friends at MyBookie. Maybe we'll get a reconnection
Looks
here.
like he's praying again, though.
Yeah, it does.
We called him mid-prayer.
Dan, you're back with us now, buddy.
There you go. We lost you for a second.
We missed everything. You were parking.
Yeah, we got you to the P lot.
We're in lot P, and take us from there.
We're in P-lot.
Yep.
I apologize. So we're in P-lot, and within the first hour, I look over. My son's having a hot dog. And there's these two girls that look like either sisters or whatnot. They're 20 years old. They seem to be enjoying themselves. They're dancing to a song. And simultaneously, one lifts up her shirt to him and the other one gives him a finger in conjunction with singing the song that's singing. He looked over at me and I was like, it's welcome to the world, champ. So it was, dude, the game was great. One of my sons and my daughter are like diehard Psycho fans. They're locked into the game. They go nuts every play. The song gets sung. So it was a cool environment. Great experience.
Yeah. I'll remind you, son, it's your mom that wanted me to bring you here.
Welcome to the world.
Again, we're there because of my wife.
That's right. That's right.
My wife was like, this is the best. I'm like, really?
Yeah. Show and tell at school, though, is fantastic. Here's my game program. Here's what's left of the hot dog. Here's why I did not finish my hot dog.
Hey,
Somehow the hot dog ended up on the pavement.
Can I ask you one serious question to end this? Biggest bounce back team next year? And the reason I ask this is because I'm a huge Rams guy. I know you love Matt Stafford. You played with him. And my Rams go from winning a Super Bowl to not even making the postseason. Obviously, injuries were a huge factor there. But when you start to take a look, and this is such a cyclical league, who do you see being one of these teams that could go from not being in the postseason to making a Super Bowl run?
Yeah, give me 10 seconds to think here. So not being in the postseason to making a Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
So AFC
Think a little bit longer. Tampa Bay Buccaneer. I'm a big Buccaneer fan. There's that helmet on his shelf back there.
I did mention the Rams.
I mean, won't be much of a surprise, but the Lions will be bona fide Super Bowl contenders. They get another piece on their defense. Their offense, retaining Ben Johnson. I don't think they'll chase quarterback. They are built to go win games in January big time. I think the Lions are a problem next year.
There you go. You put the Rams bait in the water. Dan swam right past it and went to Rockstar's Lions.
Just tell me Stafford's not done, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's not done. Trust me. I have a pretty good texting relationship with him. I'm going to see him in a couple of weeks for a little bit of a golf trip too. So he He's not done. That dude's a maniac. He's not done.
Stream song?
Stream song.
Yeah, how about Dan's like, how in the crap of all the golf courses did you pick Stream Song? Actually, who was it we knew that was on that trip? Somebody, John Parker Wilson, I think was on that trip,
John
right?
Parker Wilson,
Yeah,
yep.
former Alabama quarterback.
JP Dub, man. JP Dub is the best, dude. You want to see a dude, first of all, his nickname is accurate to the personality. I mean, just meat. First time I met him, he's like, it was through Matt Ryan meeting him. He's like, this is meat. I'm like, your nickname is meat? You're like, you look like the stereotypical Southern gentleman, dude.
Bama Bangs, baby. Bama Bangs.
Yeah. Dude does not hit driver. He just takes rescue wood out and takes divots for like a beaver tail type of divot with it and hits it 300 yards. And I'm like, well, why don't you hit drivers? Don't need to. Got it.
Yeah.
Don't need to.
I love JP's stories. Those are fantastic.
He's the best, man. Dude's the best.
Yep. All right, that is Dan Orlovsky, MyBookie.ag, code next round. Dan will be with us for a few more weeks through the Super Bowl. Thank you very much for the time, Dan. Have a great week.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy.
All right, buddy. Take care. Dan Orlovsky with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. 1.5-point favorite right now is Philadelphia in this Super Bowl with a total of 49.5 right there at MyBookie.ag, code next round, where you can get that deposit bonus. Any deposit, you're eligible for a bonus. You can use it right away and cash out. You don't have to use it 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. Listen, they've got the pregame, the live lines, the Super Bowl props, everything from opening coin toss, the length of the national anthem, the color of the Gatorade dumped on the winning coach, everything right there. MyBookie.ag, code next round. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag, code next round.